Imagine you are sitting in your living room. It's late. The kids are asleep. You have a glass of wine in your hand. You are safe. Then, the pressure hits. Not a noise. Pressure. Like you're underwater. Like the air itself is trying to crush your skull. You hear a noise. Piercing. Grinding. Metal on metal. You step to the left. It stops. You step back to the right. It hits you again. A focused beam of sound. You don't know it yet, but your brain is physically changing. The white matter is degrading. Your memories are dissolving. This isn't science fiction. This happened to American diplomats. It happened to CIA agents. It happened in one of the most heavily guarded cities on Earth. They called it an illness. But the victims know the truth. They were targets. To understand the fear, you have to understand the moment. It's 2016. The Cold War is supposed to be over. The U.S. Embassy in Havana has reopened after decades of silence. For the diplomats stationed there, this was a golden assignment. Beautiful weather, historic breakthroughs. Sure, they knew they were being watched. It's Cuba. You assume your phone is tapped. You assume the maid is reporting to the state police. That's the game. You accept the surveillance because you assume there are rules. But in late 2016, the rules changed. It started with Patient Zero, an American intelligence officer. He wasn't a rookie. He knew the trade. He reported hearing strange sounds in his garden, a chirping, a grinding. He ignored it at first, but then came the vertigo, the nausea. He couldn't remember words. He couldn't drive his car. He goes to the embassy clinic. The doctors are baffled. They suspect food poisoning or stress. They were wrong. Because 2 weeks later, it happened to someone else. By early 2017, the whispers turned into panic. It wasn't just one house. It was a cluster. Diplomats living miles apart. CIA agents in covert safe houses. The symptoms were consistent and terrifying.
It was persistent, kind of at the same level all the time. Very, very loud.
Kate, did anyone else in your neighborhood have this experience at their homes?
Yeah, on our right, and then the people on our left and across the street from us were both Canadian embassy, all 4 households.
Permanent hearing loss, brain concussions without head trauma, the inability to focus on a simple conversation, and the strangest detail? The precision. One victim reported sitting on a sofa. When they sat on one side, they felt the beam. When they moved a foot to the left, silence. This implies a weapon that can target a specific person through walls, through glass, without leaving a trace. The State Department panicked. They pulled staff out of Cuba. But you cannot run from a ghost. In 2018, Americans in Guangzhou, China, reported the same sound, the same brain damage. Then, Washington, D.C. In 2020, an official was walking near the ellipse, the lawn right behind the White House. They felt it, the pressure, the nausea. The enemy wasn't just in Havana anymore. They were inside the gates. So, what is it? The leading theory is pulsed RF energy, microwaves. In the 1960s, a phenomenon called the Frey effect proved that microwaves could trick the brain into hearing sounds that weren't there. The Soviets experimented with this for decades. They bombarded the US Embassy in Moscow with microwaves in the 70s. But this was weaponized. Think about the implications. If this is a weapon, it is the perfect crime. There is no gun. There is no shell casing. The attacker could be in a van down the street or a room next door. They don't have to eliminate you. They just have to break you. They can take your mind, your memories, your balance, your sanity while you sleep. And you will never see who did it. In 2023, US intelligence released a report. They said it was very unlikely a foreign adversary was responsible. They blamed environmental factors, crickets, mass hysteria. The victims were furious. Try telling a CIA agent with a hole in their inner ear that it was crickets. Try telling a diplomat who can no longer remember their children's names that it was stress. The file is officially closed, but the technology exists, and the victims are still out there, living in the dark. So tonight, when the house is quiet, listen closely. Is that just the ringing in your ears? Or is someone watching?